this is kind of some of the data that I came up with around why women compete with each other. And there's a study that came out, and it's an article actually, it's called Feminine Foes, New Science Explores Female Competition. And what they found was we're actually hardwired to some of this behavior that we do with each other. One of the reasons we do this is we want to attract a male. It's really like old caveman thinking. Like it was about, way back in our biology, it was about if I could attract a suitable male, that would work for my survival, because the suitable male would go out and hunt and kill something and bring it back, and I could bear children, and then together we would be a team and it would work out. So it's old biology actually that they found in the mind that's hard-rooted in our psyche, so that when we look at another woman or around another woman, the first thing is like, oh, that's the competition because I'm vying for a mate for her. The irony is we don't need that anymore. And I'll make a very bold statement here is we don't need men at all for anything. I mean, truly, if you wanted to have a child even, you don't have to be married and you don't have to do that. You don't even need a man for financial reasons if you set yourself up right. Because if you look at the statistics, we have all the education. In 1980, when we all divorced and we went into the workplace, women had these low-level administrative jobs. And when we stood up and said, hey, can we do other things? They said, well, you don't have the degree, and you don't have this and that, and that's how they kind of separated us out in 1980. If you look at the statistics now, there are more women that are graduating with four-year degrees than men in Generation Y. We keep coming up and up and up, but we're still not there. That's kind of shocking. It shouldn't look like that. We've checked the box on the education. We've checked the box. So there isn't anything really left to look at. For us, not really. And we don't need the men for any of that. We don't need them for a paycheck necessarily. We could provide that. We could go get education if that's what we need. We could go do other things. We don't need them for that. So the wiring doesn't necessarily have to be who we are. It really doesn't have to. The other thing that we do is we will try to outshine another woman. So let's say you're all in a meeting. There'll be two women in the meeting, and maybe the rest is all men. One woman will actually try to stand out and outplay and outshine the other one, purposely. It's a competition thing. It's something we do. Have you ever had that done? Oh, I've got a couple of you going, oh yeah. Have you ever done it to another woman? Have you ever unknowingly done it to another woman? I have a client that's extremely introverted, and she's got, I don't know if you've heard this, she's got the imposter theory, so she often walks into a room and she thinks that she's not the smartest person. And it blows me away because she's been with the company over 20 years, and she is the smartest person, truly. But every time she goes into a meeting, she always feels like, I don't deserve to be here. Everybody around me is so much smarter. And that's problematic because that starts to bleed through everything. And I think it was first session in, she said, I just so admire you, and I just really wish I could talk like you, and I wish I could say the things that you say and be in a meeting and so forth. And I said, let me be real clear with you. The shiniest thing in the room is not always the best. Don't ever get distracted by the shiny thing in the room, including this. It's not. It's really that quiet woman in the corner, like you. I went up to you and said, come on, we need to network. I saw a couple quiet women, and I was like, oh, no. I know that because I can do this, but I can't do what she does, and I value that. I admire that, and I value that. So don't think all that glitters is gold. It's not. But that's another way that they compete against each other.